everybody. Matt Geary here for Geek Pride's Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign, The Legend of Our Sacrifice. With me tonight, we have everybody in the wrong oh no, we're back. No, we're not. We're in different boxes. What's happened? Why is everybody in different boxes?
I'm Barty today.
It's because Barty's video's not
my
on.
fault. I've still not got a router.
Characters.
What's happened?
I'm camera off. Yeah, my router is broken, so I'm waiting for talk.
All right, we'll move people around while we're all
well, I can turn on, but it might crash. So
no, don't worry. I'll move people around midstream.
It's fine. I can turn it on, but it might.
I can't.
You might just never hear from me again.
It's too late. It's too
late.
Don't
tell anyone on
it's too late
or
now.
anything.
Just move people around.
No, are we going back to the ring?
Turn yourself on in the privacy of this room.
All right, let's do
I'm
that.
Barty for one day. I'm very smart. I could play I'm a wizard, Harry.
Okay, we'll stick you there, and we'll stick you there, and we'll start again. Okay, we're all in the right place now. Okay.
Yay!
Woohoo! Okay, so with me tonight, we have Conrad as Arno Jerkel.
The doctor will see you now.
We have Michael Starville Eldon.
Bringing democracy.
This is not Helldivers 2 podcast. We have Jace's brother Gadden.
Are you doing your duty, citizen?
No.
Dun, 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 dun.
We have Leckius Bartholomew Pringle.
Oh, I've got no Helldivers quotes.
Damn it!
It's a bug. We have Marcus Lance.
La 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 la.
And we have Vic as Saren Sanguine. Right. Okay. So, we finished.
You did that in the Helldivers music.
I know.
I wasn't sure if that was on purpose or not, or if we've just got it ingrained.
It's just there. You mind wormed me. But yeah, okay. So we finished off the ritual last week. You got rid of the Whispering Veil, and you managed to cleanse the Veil of Whispers, bring balance back to the Somnium Enclave, and are now in the Enclave's good graces. You have been given a basically a free pass to go back as and when you wish, which is in the shape of a sort of kind of engraved stone, which you can, I don't know, hang around your necks as a necklace maybe, or something like that.
That's not a bad idea, actually. I'll probably do that.
Yeah. So they really is basically said, shut the door on your way out. Basically reset the guards, and that's basically where we are. We're leaving the Somnium Enclave. And we're on our way out. Is anybody wanting to do anything before we leave, or you
Pulling the lever?
Pulling the
Pull
lever.
the lever?
Okay.
Pulling the lever.
As you sort of kind of make your way out along the main bridge, which I think was this. As you sort of kind of walking along the bridge, past all the sentinels, you pull a lever that resets them. As you do, they sort of stiffen up, do a salute on their chest as you walk past them, and then they go back to their normal forms as you walk past. You're at the end of the bridge now. You have to now decide where you're going, what you're going to do, what's happening next.
Actually, now that they crossed the bridge, Gadden is truly reminded of what has happened outside of the dream plane, and is reminded of the fact that they did say something about potentially having riches pulled out from the places. I mean, obviously, this was just a thing, but what was the place called again? Garley Hold, right?
Garley Hold. Or you promised that you promised riches to the
Well, we sort of, but we didn't say it explicitly. So he turns around to the rest of the party after having pulled the lever, the right one, and then says, "Well, you know something? Now that I've actually touched ground on reality and we're not actually thinking so much, this Garley hold is over there. We have no riches, which is good, I guess, and bad at the same time. So I heard something along the lines of we want to do. Is it Draken's body? I don't know. We're gonna find it. But also, there's that thing there. So I don't mind leaving it to squalor and letting the citizens do what they want. The inner good justice guy in me says let's go fix the corruption. But there's also the whole Draken thing. So I don't necessarily want to sway the decision, but at the same time, I mean,
I get the impression a body may decompose faster than we can restore justice, order, and prosperity.
I was
to Golly
hoping
Hold.
you would say that, my clever knife-eared lady. Yes. You're not just sharp with the ears, you're sharp with your tongue as well. Yeah, I was thinking
I'm
that.
sharp with many things.
And this is more just from my holier than thou, Bahamut needs to correct justice thing. We're definitely not going back to Guardy Hold. We're definitely definitely screwing over these people.
I reach back to touch the axe over my shoulder and say, "We have waited too long to correct the wrong that was done,
Okay.
and I am pretty sure they will still be here once we have sorted that out.
So,
And we may come across other resources that we can redirect along the way.
like a catapult.
Maybe."
No, just aim it at the citadel at the very top, and then hopefully it eradicate most of the problems because he's a corpulent fuck. Right?
Oh yes, the name of the I'm just bringing the name of the chap you're talking about is Portmaster Arthur, who's fat and posh. Is my
More like portly master. I think I remember
twat.
making that joke. Yeah.
And a little bit
See?
broken as we last saw him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Arno sorted that, didn't he?
Yeah. Hopefully his
Alright.
plumbing is no longer the way it is, which is, a mess. Okay.
Well,
what was I going to say? So I'll bring up the map. I'm showing the World Anvil page to people watching. By the way, check it out in World Anvil. And also, forgot to say, last week, make sure you join the Discord if you want RP chat, downtime RP chat you can catch up on. But where is the map? We are looking for the big app. It's that one. Okay.
That sounds like a euphemism.
Way.
Hi. Gotta show you my big map.
Yeah, mucky cow. Way.
Oi.
God.
Oi.
Okay,
Can't
so
be that right.
yeah, so from the map you can see here, obviously the green box is where you were currently. The red box was Garley Hold, and Jor Elthrasta, I think, is where you kind of want to go to. It's called, Jor Elthrasta is the basically the Fortress of Solitude for Kiamat Red Scale. In that little, I said little, that island of fire, that Mount Doom over there. So you're getting very close. You're getting very close to the sort of heart of the corruption there. So
How long have we been in the Enclave? I imagine more than 4 hours, right?
obviously
we know?
time changes. You currently don't know how long you've been there for.
Do we have any exhaustion points? That's probably more my question.
No, I think you're all
We go duty?
you're all
Maybe
fresh as a daisy. You've come
if we
pretty
care
fresh.
about this, maybe it would make sense to go to Garleyhold to see someone who knew that we left, so we can find out how long we were gone for.
Well, that's a good idea. If we had people that actually gave a shit about us, maybe we need to go see Jonah Tunafas. Tunafasi.
Tunafasi.
There was 2 separate incidents in there where we were off our tits.
I just got on my
It's
bio
probably
like
a bit much thinking about it.
notable allies Jonah Tunafasi.
So I've got it down as Norwich or Italian, question mark.
You what? Come and stay.
My lovers.
Toto bene.
Boy.
Tuta Bay. Bellissimo.
Vaffa Napoli. God, stop.
Monge 2, Rodney.
Right.
Monge 2.
Oh, stop.
Okay.
Right, so we could go there, but also like, do we need to do like perception checks to just see how we are, or are we just gonna go with a general thing?
There's basically not a lot, and we're not sort of kind of going to push it too far. It's just basically
what I wanted to
your
hear.
decision what you want to do next, where you want to go, how you want to get there, and that'll sort of obviously next session we can sort of delve into things slightly deeper. This is just getting you from A to B. And maybe, hopefully not getting sidetracked, but if you get sidetracked, you get sidetracked.
Yeah. Well, you know, you have Draken's body, and how long has it been? A month since Draken's body has disappeared?
When was the funeral? Oh Lord. Oh God, I don't know how long the funerals would have been. Funeral happened. Let me see. So the funeral happened. Then you had the insurrection within Balon. You had the Lady Taunt becoming Empress Taunt. That was a couple. I think you had a couple of weeks, and then
Probably closer to a month.
I reckon you're on a month probably.
If we don't get a move on, we're only going to be bringing back bones.
Well,
Not already.
To be
or
fair,
other scales.
Kiamat, I'm going to make the assumption that Kiamat won't let his son's body. I'm not sure whatever nefarious scheme he has for it, but yeah.
Shenanigans. So,
actually, whilst we're deliberating, me and Seren don't actually know what the fuck happened to Draken.
I know he was a dear friend of yours, and it's important to you that we retrieve his body.
Yeah,
But
why are we chasing
We
him?
know little more than that.
Yeah.
And of course, you may be willing to share, you may not. But we are going to assist you in retrieving him.
You can, if one of you wants to sort of explain the story, it's up to you. Or I can give them a quick recap.
No, I think it'd be great to hear it from them, just so that we can.
do it in RP
Yeah.
for sure.
As far as I understand it, go on.
Draken is one of the original members of the party that we met. He was a Dragonborn who, unfortunately for him, turned out to have a much more personal stake than he imagined in our fight. It turns out that while he had grown up without his father was actually a rogue Dragonborn known as Kiamat Redscale, who is actually, by way of being a favoured servant of our enemies, with his own agenda.
Hang on. A favored servant of Tiamat.
Yes.
So you've got. I'll give you a quick.
No, and I'm doing this in character.
Yeah, I know,
That's
but
why.
I'm just sort of. So you basically you've got like sort of sub lieutenants. So you've got the two main guys before Tiamat herself. You've got Kiamat Redscale, who turned out to be Draken's father. There's a whole sort of like dream sequence with how he became who he was and stuff. It's on the Discord if you want to check it out, ladies and gentlemen. But you then have a guy called Therambor, who again has a really good sort of kind of backstory where he was not kind of duped, but his family was killed, and Tiamat basically persuaded him that it was Bahamut's fault and it was all Crusaders that did it. He's destroyed his family, and so he's basically come from another plane to be her sword. Basically, is the main sort of bad guy before Tiamat. So he is if you sort of there's mention of a black armored figure, he's generally that black armored figure, and then the rest they can explain to you.
Yeah. Okay.
So Kiamat is one of the senior henchmen, I suppose would be a
Okay.
good way to put it. But
Okay.
he has his own agenda, and
Yes.
while
And that
he
is.
his own power, effectively.
Ah, okay.
But while he absented himself during Draken's childhood, he developed something of a fixation on trying to bring him over, if that makes sense. But also testing him, and by
Hmm.
association, us.
Okay.
Unfortunately, when he fell in one of our recent adventures, Kiamat decided that he had more of a right to Draken's body than we did, and ignored his wishes, and intruded upon the service that was to inter him, and triggered something of a spat, which is not a good thing to occur in a crowded cathedral.
It
I can
resulted
imagine.
in near civil war afterwards.
Well, this is the thing that. So go back to the spat. Define spat. Did we like? Is the civil war between like dragonkin or more than that?
So he has his own dragonborn that follow him. They are
Yeah.
instinctive.
Yeah.
He effectively brought them into the service to
Yeah.
take Draken's body, and
Oh.
we were not amenable to this.
Uh-huh.
Understandably so.
But it was not our finest hour,
Wait,
and
It almost was.
Yeah.
It was very close.
Saraval, what does that mean? I feel like you're all missing that you're editing out the good bits.
let us just say that a number of his people did not make it back, but he still managed to escape with Draken's body, and
Okay.
we still
Licking his
and we
wounds.
but we had a lot of bodies on our own side because the service was very well attended, and there were some issues around people who thought that we should have just let them take the body rather than risking the casualties that occurred when we disputed.
Sounds
So,
like royalty. Like,
how did you guess? Well, you know how these power things, power imbalances are, especially when you've recently lost the ruler of an area and everyone's trying to decide who should be.
yeah,
regent of
okay.
the sea.
And that's another thing. One of the Triarchs was killed with the escape. So Triarch Taunt, who's Lady Taunt's
yeah.
father, was killed.
Father, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense. I think the question here. Okay. Sure, we're going to go find our dead comrade. There's also like a well-known sovereign. I'm gonna say sovereign for now until I have a better word for it. His body's been stolen by his dad, who's politically unstable the entire region, just by taking his corpse. And then taking his corpse and putting it back, does that not cause any more unrest, especially with the dissidents or the existing population that side with Draken's
No,
dad?
Sorry, so the Dragon's body being stolen wasn't the catalyst for the unrest. It was the fact that there were so many civilian casualties within the funeral because they didn't let him take it. That caused issues with Imbalon.
Arno took major issue with the party's general reaction. He wanted to just let the body go because he saw what was going to happen, and he was very pissed off.
So ultimately, it was over my dead body, no over yours.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm having a difficult bit with us like doing this between filling in the gaps versus doing it in roleplay, and what's the best way to do this without any schism? Because I'm asking the questions.
The reason I didn't do it in RP is because Arno's not partaking in this conversation. He's sitting off to the side, smoking on his pipe. So I just wanted to
fine.
tell you that Arno was one of the opposed. But
So-
yeah, I think we should do everything in RP.
I agree. We should do everything in RP simply because narrative-wise, we're moving it forward. I can probably catch up into two loaded read notes when I read it into the thing, and I think also some of the stuff in the gap filling is going to be natural for me and for Gadden and Seren, but it also might unleash other things as well.
Absolutely.
But that's
Yeah.
kind of why I stepped up
RPO.
because. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, so after we lost Dragon Body and we had done our best to help with the casualties and clear up,
Mhm.
I took up Draken's axe, and I've made a vow that he will be returned to where he wanted to be, and that he will not be used or abused by his
What-
father, because I
What?
am not entirely convinced that there is not some that Tiamat's original fixation on him may not lead him to do things which are unwelcome.
So I'm very surprised that we are all Tiamat. I thought it was very common knowledge. I mean, at least amongst the people who are combating the corruption, that Tiamat is somehow intrinsically aligned to it. So the fact that we're not sure about Tiamat's motivations in all of this is a bit astounding. I, for one, would have been like corruption, Tiamat, same thing. Fuck them both up. My thoughts only. Second thing, where is Draken meant to be interred then? Where did he want to be rested?
Just so you know, but sorry, it's Tiamat and then there's Kiamat. Kiamat is the
Yeah.
Okay, just so you
I know.
don't.
Tiamat is the
Yeah,
henchman with his
Yeah, I know.
agenda.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had looked. We were interring him with the rest of our fallen comrades. That was the original concept.
Where's that?
The it's here. Oh,
Balon.
what did I call it? God, what did I call it? Basically, on Balon, what's it
The where
called?
Glander is.
Yeah, it's the sort of heroes. It's
Okay.
it's basically what's it called? It's a Balon War Memorial, but basically it's where all the heroes of Balon are interred.
Westminster of Balon.
Yeah, the Westminster of Balon.
So essentially, he didn't want to have anything to do with his father.
Okay.
His father is,
The dick.
for whatever
I-
reason, fixated on him, and I'm not entirely sure he will let him rest easy.
So at this point, you can see that like Gadden's trying to make sense of this very much so, and he keeps hearing that Kiamat keeps coming back into the fight. So he takes a deep breath and he says, "Let's just get this clear. We know his dad's a dick. Fine. So, and I'm sorry. I'm not a very good scholastic person. Normally, I'd be happy to go through the discussion of it. I think the weed is that I don't. We just need to get Draken's body, kill Kiamat. I think personally, I'd love to do that. Then get his body, put it back in Balon, in where the resting place is, along with the rest of your comrades that have been interred. Yes? No.
Yes. So
Good.
essentially, we want to retrieve our comrade.
Yes.
The useful corollary of that is
Yes.
that we will depriving the corruption of a major supporter.
Two
Because
birds with one
he's going
stone.
to get in our way,
Yeah.
and we're going to leave footprints on his corpse.
Okay. At this point, he
If
gets a
anyone
wolf skin
wants
out.
to wear, and if anyone wants to wear studs when they're doing so, I am more than happy to help sharpen.
If Draken's last wishes were to be laid with your comrades and his father has prevented this, then we owe it to him, whether I knew him or not, as one of your comrades, to lay him where he wished to be laid.
I'm also very fond of the idea of giving his father the centre parting that Draken never managed to. Starting about here and finishing just down there.
Perfect. Great. I love the enthusiasm. You'll have to forgive me for being blunt here. So as long as we're dealing a heavy blow to the corruption and removing an agent, I I'm as a religious acolyte, I wholly advocate the endeavor to rescue your comrade's corpse. Personally, and I mean this with the kindest of things. I also hope that we get it. I also just want to deal a really big blow to the corruption. It's just me.
It is
So
one of those situations where my personal and my professional goals are very much in sync.
Just
Right.
again, there was another part to it in that party is aware that there is a schism between Tiamat and Therambor, for basically Tiamat's favor. So there is like Tiamat is being used by her, but Therambor seems to be the golden child effectively, and Tiamat doesn't really like it. So there's a thing between them two.
is this being because this is player knowledge? I don't know if it gets. I don't know if it's going to get translated to.
I'm not mentioning it because that's not something that I'm focused on at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
very much. In
Yeah,
the
you can
direct-
ignore it if you want. Like I said, it's that just for your FYI.
But yeah,
Okay.
So I'm obviously very focused on certain things, and they mostly involve beating the shit out of things and killing them.
Me too. I mean, despite the fact that I'm meant to be a scholarly cleric, actually, I prefer just searing the shit out of things from daylight. So, so we go to this place now, the edge of corruption land, and get Darken's body and take it back. That sounds like the plan. Okay, great. Now, next step, I believe, is we do the same thing as we did the last time, from Balon to here to go to there, but something tells me that that's not straightforward. I imagine that there's going to be some level of like magical defense that we have to kind of
I'm
do.
You also need to.
assuming that's complicated. Yes.
I'm guessing Barty will have to have been to Jorathrasta to even be able to go near it.
Or
I
we
used to
need have
holiday
appropriate
there with my
references.
parents.
Oh yeah, back in the day,
It
you
was
know,
a
it was
beautiful land it used to be. Yes. We used to picnic on the mountainside, enjoy lemonade and ginger beer. Not necessarily. If Barty's got enough information about it, then we can take a chance. Now,
Well,
if we want to take a chance
Ooh, I
traveling
do
to
like
what sounds like an
chances.
evil villain's volcano layer,
That
we
being
might
said,
end up
that
in
could
it.
Now
work.
you've done it.
I have a lot of big. I've got a lot of big maps. And that randomness could be a way to choose what map is used.
although I
Yeah.
might scupper that idea because I'm very good. This is, a humble brag here. But sometimes when the stars align, and now you all know I'm from a different plane altogether, sometimes the stars in my home plane align to give me a prophecy and show me some level of divination. And I can use divination to guide us to increase our odds of landing in a very favorable spot. That's what I can do, but it's a very powerful spell and probably requires a lot of effort to do it. So, if we do this with the intention that we go there and we hit hard, or we can take a random hope that we teleport in some place, hopefully not infested by dragonkin that are
Are
alive.
we truly in a position and fully ready to hit hard?
That's
This
even
is
a
my
better question.
question.
That's even a better
Because
question.
if we do as you say, brother, and
Yeah.
we do that, and we are
Yeah.
not prepared,
Yeah.
this could be the end of many of us.
Of course, totally. Die in battle,
And
glorious
I
honor.
have no wish to meet my maker just yet.
Oh, boo you. Then
Well,
there's me like,
thank you so much.
I'm
To be fair,
joking.
we've met
Ceravel
your
sort of
maker.
speaks
He's a
up
very
and
charming guy.
says, "This land is a fortress. We cannot just appear inside it at random and expect not expect a warm welcome. So I think we should think about this before just doing something."
Sure. Yes, of course. Yeah. I mean, we're not just
Uh-huh.
gonna teleport in there.
Perhaps we should consider how close we can safely get without causing problems.
For us or for
Well,
them? Because I like
just-
causing problems for them.
Just simply teleporting back to Balan will save us weeks.
Well, we can go both ways. We can either go to Balon and then make our way back from there. The advantage of that being, of course, that it will give us access to research options to find out more information about our destination. We could try to seek information more locally. I hate to say that I didn't occur to me at the time, but we could go back and request if there's any help that our new friends could give us with.
In Garl? Oh, in
Anything.
the Enclave.
Yes.
Okay. Actually,
mean-
that's not bad shout. We can
I
go
mean,
back in time.
I was not necessarily focused on things when we were in there, but but it's not exactly a great place for clarity of thought considering what we experienced, but that is a possibility rather than us jumping back to Balon and researching.
Well,
We
Yeah.
could need to see if we've got.
It is just there. We could.
Perhaps we should do that before
Balon
we
is-
head anywhere.
just so you know, there are sort of cities and stuff on your way if you're wanting to sort of get, Balon's sort of center north, whereas you have multiple sort of, I would say, friendly-ish sort of cities before you get sort of onto the tail end of where the corruption. Now, Al-Zaharak, which is the southern area. I wonder if I can bring this up, actually.
We could go south, or we could continue. We could continue west and wrap round.
So Al-Zaharak and sort of where the sort of blackish area, there's Ciravel and his wife will kind of know that area because that's where they escaped from. So they kind of, they're aware of how to get through Al-Zaharak because they've been there.
We could go via Citra and Eathlia instead, and then go south from.
So there's multiple ways to get there,
Yeah.
depending on how you want to sort of. I'm not sure where the local dragon towers are and stuff. There are.
I was gonna say, why are we dancing around the potential of going through to Belmore? Belmore, sorry.
That's
and
why.
then,
That's part of what I'm saying. Is we can go that way around rather than go. We can go west or we can go east. If that makes sense.
Side note, Barty, aren't you from Kyrelia?
Yes.
Are you from
So-
the capital? Did we say you were from the capital? By the way,
Yeah.
you're from Alamore.
We did. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're from Alamore. So you're from the basically this huge fortified city, which is
North. Well, right in the middle, yeah.
right there, Alamore.
But my other option would be myself and my brain has just lost Elderith. Obviously, have roots in Belmore, bearing in mind where we originated or where I trained.
Okay. So,
Nice little red circle there.
Yep, with the Order of the Morning Star.
so I also need to find a local chapter of the Order of Light. So I don't necessarily know what that is, and that doesn't make me a very good member, if I'll be honest with you. Then again, I was conscripted. Well, nah. Anyways, so the only reason why I mentioned this is because if we do the Somnian Enclave, I may be able to procure us enough, but I may be able to ask a favor from the Order and see if they can help us equip. Because I'm imagining that the Order will be very invested in helping us, wanting to take down a prominent lieutenant of the corruption. So, but to answer Darren's question about gone.
As a suggestion, we tried to talk to the Order to see if they can give us any advice and guidance.
Are we talking about the? Sorry, are you talking about the Legion of the Unyielding Light?
The Legion, Legion of Unyielding Light. Pardon me. Whoops.
So we start off going back to talk to the Order about seeing if they can give us any advice or information that will help us to get onto the actual island. Maybe then we should think about going to the capital of Karelia for access to additional resources, which Barty is familiar with. And then myself and Elderith could help him to take us to the Order of the Morning Star, where we would have access to additional resources, and they could help to get us down south and possibly passage if we can't teleport to the island directly.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Because if we do decide to do this, one, our goal is they're not gonna, I don't know how they're going to receive the idea of us going to exhume our comrade's body from his father. So we should kind of leave that aside be quiet and instead focus on the story of we are going to strike here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, good.
We-
I just
I-
We could
Somehow
move so
I doubt.
quickly that only spells could keep up with us. We don't have to be super secret.
no,
Can
what
ask.
the
Close allies.
But
How I
yeah.
also doubt that the body has been interred, shall we say?
If it's interred, I will break things until we uninter it.
Yeah, don't worry about that. That's these many
Possibly
details.
with his father's face.
That's minor details. We need to get there first before we decide to inter faces and tombs. So, but if we're doing that, then that means what are we actually thinking about going there in a sizable force rather than sneaky?
We are the sizable force, brother.
No, because by going to the Legion, that is asking for a sizable force. By going to the Order of them, that's also asking for a sizable force.
The Order is more likely to be able to help us with the logistics and intelligence, because they are committed rather heavily in various places.
Oh,
The
Yeah,
Legion
so
obviously will have their own interests.
there's a
actually, I was going to ask player, but asking the DM the question about what does Gadden know about the Legion's movements at the moment.
So the Legion, so there's a difference between the Legion and the Order. So you've got the Legion itself is currently after Galgaroth.
Oh
Obviously,
yeah, of course they've got
that's why Valashul sort of took himself off
left.
because there's a lot of
Yeah.
shit. So they're not going to be. I don't think you'll think they're going to be. They might be able to help a bit, but they're not going to be able to give you much because they're already sort of indisposed.
I made that assumption. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got what you have. There's a place called Aswara and there's a place called Belmore who are they are buffer states created during the sort of kind of this the Portal War, which is a historical event, created. They are ran by the Aswara is looked after by the Order of the Waning Moon, and Belmore is looked after by the Order of the Morning Star, and they're basically former mercenary, not former sort of say mercenary organizations that have sort of decided to protect the portal of Aberoth, and they have sort of interests in dealing with the corruption. One of the big battles, the Battle of Whispering Shore, was won with the help of the Order of the Morning Star, with Guard Captain Girk being the main sort of kind of person to deal the killing blow and stopping the corruption moving any further north. So that's sort of there. They have a bigger sort of, that's the front line basically. Belmore and Ilathia is basically the front line of the war.
Okay. Okay, so it should be straightforward for us to go in and out, and we just need to be prepared. That's all it is. And we're thinking that Karelia is going to help us. The Order of Morningstar is going to help us. I can.
Will hopefully give you access to the Legion as well. Being a
Well, I hope so. I mean, I came here to tap out and give Valashul the heads up that big demon, big boy is going to come and fuck things up. So
Is there also the options? So, once Staravol's brother and father and all were taken, he basically his mother took him to the Underdark,
Mm-hmm.
which is basically sort of like passageways, underground. Now, from what I remember from his backstory, a lot of the entrances and exits, because of the corruption gradually moving forward in the south and southeast, they had been or were to be closed off at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I was just more mentioning of the fact that I think, what was it? Valis Zauvir was Tharavol's grandfather.
Yeah, so your mother's father, yeah.
Yeah, and he was like a high counselor or something like that, from what I can remember, for the Underdark. So again, he could possibly be another means of support for.
You've got so you've got a few options here. Kyrelia, so I think Cervel's going to butt in, and he's going to say that Kyrelia are, as much as it's their interest that corruption goes no further, it's also their interested that it weakens their rivals, so they may not be as super helpful as maybe the other. They have troops in the front line. They have, they are support, but I think some of them, maybe some of their sort of lords, might be seeing this as an opportunity to get rid of some other states and stuff. So he doesn't trust them fully to be as helpful. His mother, Serval will say, his mother in Elathia is a good idea. He obviously hasn't seen his mother since he was taken.
She's in the Underdark. She fled, like, so.
Yeah, so going there is an option. Other options of Al Zaharak, going through there. Obviously Belmore, or just teleporting, like you said, you could. There is a dragon tower sort of on one of the islands to the west of Ajora Thrasta. It's obviously being corrupted, but that's another option too. So you've got multiple options. You've got lots of options.
So, hear me out. Sounds a bit crazy.
Oh, here we go.
Eish. Saren, please. I've never made this kind of move before in this plane, but I've made it before in my homeland. So, it sounds to me that now that we're having all these conversations, there is a thread of commonality, and again, it springs down to the corruption. Judging by what we've had narratively so far, it's spreading more aggressively into the mainland than we previously thought. So, and the last incursion we've had has happened within the last, couple of few years or so. So, maybe it's time that we rouse the rabble and because getting to that island is going to attract a level of attention anyway. We need a distraction. The best distraction is, unfortunately, waging a hostile takeover on the actual island. Plus, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a number of people that are sick and tired of having to play defensively and that would rather play offensive. I don't know if there's such a thing.
No, actually, yeah, you can all have to say your piece first.
So, I don't know if there's such a thing here, but in my homeland, the nations used to form a council and making big continental decisions on whether they would do something or not, like addressing a giant threat, for instance. And so, I don't know if there's such a thing here in this continent where you'd be able to summon a group.
I'm not sure that we want to spend the time it would probably take to get everyone together.
Oh, no.
Get them all pointed in the same direction.
We're not doing that. We just, get something going, a bit of momentum going, and then afterwards let them decide. Meanwhile, we're going to go in there and get Draken's body. That's my only thought. It was a wild idea, and I understand the trepidation behind it because it just means getting lots of people to do their thing, politics, bureaucracy, whatever it is.
I would say getting things moving beforehand will be harder because there is a bit of a stalemate that's been going on for a while.
Okay.
In addition, I would point out that there is a certain amount of theatricality that comes with turning up, asking them to make a decision, and dumping the head of one of Tiamat's senior lieutenants on the table with a look of shock and a little bit of shock and surprise on his face.
But you see,
But I'm a bit theatrical that way. What can I say?
you're theatrical and you like to do things the hard way, so that's not very practical. The best thing to do, technically, is to have an army by your side, let them do the muckery. We go in there, chop, 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 a few people, get Dragon's body, done dusted. Oh, and Kiamat gets cured. That's
Brother.
really the easy way.
Brother,
Yeah.
you're running on the basis and the assumption that they will want to do this.
I know.
This
faith,
is the
I know.
flaw in your plan, as much as I'm sure you hate to hear it.
They have to be under the impression that there's a weakness that can be exploited, and they aren't likely to simply be feeding their own power base into a grinder.
Ceravel sort of looks at you, Brother Garden, and says, "You have no idea what we are dealing with us, Brother Garden.
Educate me then.
This is a foe you will have never dealt with. I have been in the bowels of their lairs. I have seen what they can do. I have been impressed upon their forces to do their bidding. We do not have the numbers. They are holding on by a thread at this moment in time, by pure will and by pure courage, and to send forces against that island is pure folly, and it will weaken the front line and let Tiamat take this land. I will not be a part of that."
May well be that a force as small as us is all we need.
You hear Arno pipe up at this point from a couple of meters away and just says, "What if the invading force were merely a distraction? Pull forces away and allow ourselves entry. There needn't be loss."
But
Would
there
be
will
willing
be
to such a
loss.
distraction.
How do you expect that? For there to be a force, there's going to be losses. You're going to take losses.
We're ultimately using
Look, I don't know.
our armies as bait.
Look, I'm not here to tell you how to suck eggs, because I don't know how this plane likes to wage war. In other planes, they understand the grand calculus that is war. The moment you have a foe that is as ruthless and unyielding and as vicious as the corruption, you match, you play the game, and you make sure that you keep every ounce. So here's why I didn't quite understand our volition for getting Draken's body in the first place. Because it's a selfish desire on our end to want to get his body, and for us to go in there and exhume his body is almost tantamount to suicide. And logically, my common sense says that doesn't make sense to do it. And so, but then at the same time, you don't want to send out a force to draw out all the enemies. So I think at this point here, I'm happy to do the suicide mission because at the end of the day, glory be to Bahamut, I'm doing this in the service of light. But I thought I'd point it out to you all.
It's
This
a
is a suicide mission.
it's a Kansas City shuffle.
What is Kansas?
Kansas City shuffle.
What is Kansas?
I'm sure, brother, that they understand the risks and the monumental task that is set before them.
Uh-huh.
However,
Mm-hmm.
raising an army as a distraction, however large, may not be possible. They
Us-
may not have time.
Us
I think-
going as a small infiltration unit. Yes, it seems like it is the most ridiculous idea, so much so that the arrogance of our enemy would not expect it. they probably think that us trying to retrieve Draken's body, although we may want to, doing it as a small unit isn't going to happen, and therefore we have the advantage of surprise.
I think that this is where you might have a bit of hubris on that one, because Kiamat might be expecting exactly that.
Brother,
Listen,
they have trusted us thus far.
I know.
They do not need to, but they have. Allow us to trust them.
I am
Listen,
by being that
listen.
horrible advocate.
The art of deception is actually quite simple. Most people just fail in the execution. As long as the stronghold and Kiamat, at least their eyes are looking somewhere else, it gives us opportunity.
Okay, but I warn you, I'm not very good.
No, but he's. I think Arno's sort of in your favor there, Brother Gadden. He's sort of agreeing with you.
I am.
Gregor will say, we could always ask the Order of the Morning Star for help. That guard, Captain Girk, he's a hero. He'd help us if we can, sever the head of one of the lieutenants. Surely that's a good thing.
Hence, I suggested we stop off with them and talk to them about what they can do to help. I'm not expecting a huge amount, but
Is that not what we were talking about?
Thank you! It was just saying. We're going in circles.
I didn't.
We are going in circles.
I was tuning in, not to the whole conversation, but I thought you suggested that those were the guys that would be creating a distraction.
I simply said we could talk to them about what we were doing and see what they could do to assist. And
do that first
there
of
are
all.
a wide range of options. If we start off at Corellia, which is along the way, we could then the brother can try and hopefully liaise with his own people and see if they can offer advice or assistance. We can also do some research to see if it will be feasible to try and teleport ourselves there. If we can find the right references for Barty to be able to get there.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
being a larger city, it would have better options. We'll talk to the Order before we leave to see if they can assist or offer advice and counsel. And then we move to the Order, who have access to their own resources and have their own experience, and see which part they can take to assist us in order to strike a blow against our enemy, with the side benefit being that it puts us in the right place for a more personal task.
Are we in agreement? We head to Corellia.
Saravel sort of will be pushing for going to see his mother and using the Underdark and his knowledge of the area to infiltrate and assassinate Kiamat to get Draken's body back. That's his sort of angle. That's where he's going. So Gregor's basically saying Belmore...
Arabal's probably obviously going to go with his brother.
Let us see what resources we can marshal along the way, including speaking with your mother, and then we can work out. Then we can come to a conclusion once we have access to more information and more resources, and we know what we have to work with.
I have a feeling we can roll this all into one go. So, step 1, Alamor. Research and recruit.
You skipped a step.
What did I miss?
I point over my shoulder behind me at the gate and the lever and the two golems.
Oh, fuck. Okay, fine. Step 1, speak to the Enclave. Get some knowledge from them. Whatever happens. 2, we then go to Alamor. Recruit and research. Then, get the outcomes from there. If all good, then we go down and recruit the Order of the Morning Star. Then 3, we find the nearest entrance to the Underdark within Belmore, and then do subterfuge that way. Then we're playing the game on 2 different fronts. We are going to have to go on the Underdark and take the long route in, because that's going to be the quietest, the most subtle, whatever it is, stealthy. Meanwhile, it'll buy our allies a decision time and also enough time to marshal over and make a strike. Whatever happens, we still got the element of surprise, but we also have the element that we can gamble with, which is we've sowed the seeds of a potential first strike overhead and a distraction. Either way, yeah. But I actually, so there's this thing. I have a little bit of experience around Underdark settings. I don't like them personally. I've encountered spiders there, but
You do not
Lance
like
knows
good
about
thing-
spiders.
You do not like spiders, Brother Gavin.
I don't.
I'm
know.
a huge fan of them.
I mean, put it this way: if you've been stuck in the Underdark for 3 weeks and all you could eat was spider, then you'll probably not want to. Besides the point, we use the Underdark as the way in. I actually didn't know that, Serval. That's a brilliant stroke of genius.
My point
the
would be-
Underdark troubles me.
My point would be the Underdark is an option, but we also have other options to work with, and we need to see.
And he just
Oh,
throws
they
he throws his shield down. He's like, "For fuck's sakes, you old paralysis analysis people."
Why?
Before we commit to the
Patience.
last step, we will get all our ducks lined up, and then we will say, because it might be we have another option that will come up because we'll be dealing with all these new parties along the way, and we just have a go no go point, which is after we've talked to Ciravel's mother, and we
yes.
decide how to proceed. Okay.
But
Arno,
Serval's mother. Go on.
Arno chews on a ration from his bag, and he's like, "This all seems quite simple. We can do both, just as Garden says. We talk to Cyril,
Yeah.
his mother. We infiltrate through the Underdark, while the Order causes a distraction on the sea."
Or we teleport if it's actually a better option than the infiltration.
So
Like
he
I said,
just
that's the go no go part.
at this
Is
point,
everybody
Gavin just
still under the influence of the Osfuster soil?
yeah, sort of. Alphusis.
The Underdark is probably the most dangerous place on the planet, other than the source of the corruption itself.
No, the corruption's the
The
most
very
dangerous place in
politics
the
of
world.
game of death.
Tharavel looks at Bardia and sort of chuckles. He's like, "My friend, I lived and grew up in the Underdark. Is like it is not all evil down there. There are various levels, and the levels that we were talking about are relatively safe."
Yeah, it's not sewage
You
level
sound
just yet.
scared. You sound scared, Barty. Is it because you can't see in the dark?
That has little to do with it. I'm most scared of the spiders, the drow, the poison. If we do find friendly faces down there, then they'll probably just use it as bargaining chips.
Row? He just
We could
looks
just
everybody.
appear. We could just appear. We have a 50-50 chance of just being on the island.
And as I said, that's why we don't commit until we have more information.
No, okay.
I,
Look,
We now, if we
Did
start
we-
off by just finding some information out, which means we move and we stop squabbling.
Tharavel sort of interjects and he says, "Why don't those who wish to stay above ground for the time being go to Almor and speak to the what are they called? The guys of the Rising Sun.
Legion of the
The
Unreal.
Legion of the Rising.
The
Yeah,
Unreal
sorry.
Light,
Oh.
yeah.
The Rising.
Legion of Undying Light and
whilst-
Order of the Morning Side.
Myself
that's-
and Ceravel can.
That's
can-
a very, very good idea, actually.
We
don't-
know our way of the
Party,
Underdark.
again.
Lower
My-
our profile.
No, we're not doing
My
that. We're
point
not
is-
splitting the
My
party.
point being, we're
Again,
not committing to attacking.
We're not. Yeah,
Island
it's
yet.
basically
We are gathering 2 sets of information at once.
simultaneously.
Well, let's get to the point where we need to worry about that once we're actually getting towards Belmore. Yep. Let's just
Agreed.
We
start
at least
off with-
agreed at the first point of call.
Behind us.
Yes.
Yeah, we go there. Cool. Great. So the only reason why I'm very, very dog with the bone about this our plan is because I'm expecting change and deviation the moment that we start thinking we get more information as we going along. And sometimes the chaos behind an organized force is making decisions on the fly. I'm from my family is from a military background, and we don't tolerate shitty bullshit like that. We have a goal, and if it changes, great. This is why I'm saying that if we do it, points 1, 2, and 3, when we get to the Order of the Morning Star, and we make a decision to go into the Underdark or to teleport, we can do that whatever, as long as we're saying those are our two options from now. Later on, if we get presented with a much more appealing and easier route, fantastic, no problem. Also, pat on the back for all the team that manages to get it. But we have to paint a baseline. And
Yes.
the baseline is this. So, having
the
said that,
baseline is turning around, going and asking some questions, and then moving forward from there.
yeah, just he looks at Arno, slightly frustrated. But he knows that he
Cerevel
gets
sort
it.
of folds his arm and sort of shakes his head and looks at Tharavel and shrugs his shoulders.
We don't fucking same point. Let's just go into the Enclave. I'd rather have a dream than talk about this. Just like, and he's like, if anything, he's more like, he marches over, and looks at the guards left and right, and then just goes straight into the Enclave, walks across the bridge, and just be like, bloody Freyans.
He's aware he started that whole conversation, right?
Well, the garden has he has a way of doing things that isn't always how we would do things.
It's true.
I should
And,
point out, if he's going to hang upside down and have a conversation in a mirror, he needs to remember to stop jumping onto the ground, then jumping back upside down again, without warning us.
At this point, Gadden's deep is ready, like pell-melled into the Enclave.
Which is why I feel confident. I'm happy to say that.
Okay.
He has a way of doing things, and it takes some getting used to.
You just hear a shout saying, "Well, hurry up!"
My point exactly.
At least he stopped talking.
Okay, so are you following him? What's going on?
Yeah, we go.
Yes, I'm following
I'm
him.
following.
Okay.
Back to the Enclave.
So you walk past the Enclave, the runes, the rune stones that you're sort of kind of wearing around your neck sort of glow as you pass the threshold of the bridge, and the guards or the sentinels sort of kind of stay there as you sort of walk past unhindered. You make your way back to the gardens, where Dyrelia was, and you see that the trees that you planted are sort of intertwining themselves around the main central tree itself and repairing it. The garden already looks much better than it did when you left. Dyrelia seems to be standing outside of the tree. She's not part of the tree anymore. She's sort of effectively gardening. She's sort of kneeling down and gardening, and sort of hears a ruckus and sort of turns around and sees a somewhat frustrated looking Brother Gadden sort of storming towards her.
He does, as he knows he's storming. He fixes up his face. He ruffles his hair a little bit, so he just doesn't look like he's angry. And sort of bows long, graciously, taking the deep breaths that he needs to calm himself before he gets back up and sort of addresses Dyrelia and says, "Yeah, we forgot something. We forgot to ask you something. So just wait for the party to come through before we do this. And also, I'm probably not the best person to ask to, because..." And just leans in. "Honestly, I don't give a shit about the body. I just want to make sure we're doing right."
She gives you a bit of a quizzical smirk and then sort of says, "I'll carry on gardening then," and sort
No.
of
Like, well, yeah, do that, and then we're just gonna ask the question. Okay. So then he just kind of like steps aside, walks around, hands behind his back, just like whistling a tune that he would normally whistle.
Okay. The rest of them sort of turn up behind you and are standing in front of you. Dyrelia sort of gets up, sort of knocks off some dirt from her dress, and sort of looks at you and says, "I wasn't expecting you all back so soon. What is it you have forgotten?"
We would like to ask if you could offer some advice, or if you have access to information that could help us. We have two objectives which are in synchronicity. In that one of our fallen comrades was related to one of the corruption's major lieutenants, or one of Tiamat's major lieutenants, Tiamat Redscale. And after our comrade passed away, Tiamat appropriated his body. So we want to eliminate him in order to weaken Tiamat's ability to prosecute their war, and B, we want to retrieve our comrade's body and inter him along with the rest of our comrades. And we have some idea of roughly where they're located, but it occurred to us that it is possible that you and the rest of the order may have access to resources or knowledge that could assist us in planning for how we're actually going to make that happen.
She sort of looks at you and says, "You speak of Jorathrasta, don't you?"
Yes, we do.
And she says, "It was a beautiful land once. The elves tended to its gardens well. The Arthussus trees were many. The mountain hadn't. The mountain was quiet, and the land was lush. Now, all but nightmares live on that island. Its green turned to black. Its snow turned to soot. Its trees gone."
And we would greatly appreciate any help in returning that land to what it once was.
She
Even the smallest of assistance would be greatly appreciated, my lady.
I don't know how I can help you. The Enclave hasn't been there in a very long time. Its loss was mourned. We tried to heal the nightmares of those who escaped its land, but I don't know what you want from us. What do you need?
In this instance, it simply was our thought that we didn't know if you had any knowledge or information which might help. And since we were here, it seemed it seemed an idea to ask first, rather than put ourselves in a situation unnecessarily later, and risk defeat without making use of the resources we had at hand. Does that
My
make
lady,
sense?
if you do not have any knowledge yourself, perhaps you know of someone or somewhere that does, and could direct us to them.
And she says, "What knowledge do you seek? What is it you want? What do you need?"
I think they need a picture of what the Jorathruster used to be so they can teleport there.
Yeah, if we have information about the land itself and its layout, that would give us some idea. That would give us some idea about possible references to travel there, or some idea of potentially what structures may have been co-opted that we may be that, so that we know we have some idea ahead of getting there as to what we can expect. Does that make sense?
She sort of paces slightly and says, "We have old manuscripts and maps from many years ago. I'm doing the wrong voice there. For many years ago, but the issue you're going to have is the mountain has blown. It's lava. Is forming new land every day. What was there may not be there anymore. What you risk a lot. I can maybe provide you with an old map, but I can't guarantee that where that map is from centuries ago is still there now."
I think it would be useful to have it as a resource that we could cross-reference with other information potentially. Does that make sense?
Did you hear her? There's a medium to high chance that no matter, no offense, Barty, but if this teleport spell doesn't work as accurately as we might like, we could end up inside an active volcano.
Yes, I said that.
I don't
from
know
the get-go.
about you.
But this is not us committing to anything. It is more if we try and use multiple sources, we may find enough information for something useful enough to give us a good fix. Correct?
Arno crosses his arms and he just looks at Barty. Barty, is there any way that you have a 100% success rate of getting us to a specific place on that island, regardless of the information you have?
Well, possibly not the island, but there's a dragon tower to the northwest of the island. Is there any records where its sigil sequence would be kept? If we had that, 100% chance of us getting onto that tower. A stone's throw, depending on your arm, I suppose, from our objective.
Perhaps there is a painting or something like that, an old artwork that perhaps depicts that. I know it's a long shot, and I know perhaps
I'm gonna
it might
put this
work.
here. We are in the Somnian Enclave, which is the intersection between our plane and the dream plane. So, and what we did experience recently was the dream. So, and hazard I to guess, can we tap into a creature that is on the island in their dreams and get a picture of a place there? You know,
Gry.
She
like a scry.
she says, "Yes, but I will not allow it."
Is it a
She says, "We have just she says, you have just cleansed this place of the darkness, and you wish to bring more into it."
No. I realized this is why I didn't. I just posed it as a question. I had a feeling I knew this was going to be one of the outcomes. It would be great to, but the risk is too great, and we don't want to do it again to the Enclave.
She says, "I can the Jorathras, the Dragon Tower, is there are many paintings of it. I can, our artisans drew it from many of the dreams of the elven kind who used to live there. I can provide them for you. I guess it hasn't been affected as much but I can't be 100% sure. But I can provide you with those if you wish.
They be of any use for you, Barty?
That would be most helpful. Any records from the time as well? Diaries, journals, stories.
Okay, so yeah, she says by all means you can enter the enclave's library and see what you can find.
He just heard the word library and his ears prick up.
Control yourself, brother.
I'd actually rather go to the library because at least the
you
books
fucking
don't talk to
library.
me. Barty, shall we?
Yes. I mean, yes.
And he literally scarpers off with Barty, almost like as if his gusto is carrying the both of them quickly to the library.
Cerevel turns around to Thorvald and says, "Fuck, fucking nerds."
Did you not hear what I just said?
You'll be regretting that soon enough, dipshits.
Now, brother.
Now. Yeah, I was saying that under the light of the sun when I cast it. Anyway, come on, let's go, Barty. Let's go.
Okay,
Get your freak.
everybody go into the library.
No,
No, but I don't know what I'm looking for.
No, we were intending to go. We would turn around and it says, "No, talk to Kyrelia. We got this. Hey, we got this."
It's a bit hard for us to go to Kyrelia without Barty.
No, that's not Kyrelia. Go to Dyrelia. Sorry, just keep talking to her. We got this. It's all good.
I just turn around and say, I'm going to go and have a sit down for a moment over by the Ephesus tree.
You do that.
One moment before you go, Lance. When Draken's body was taken, did you take any trophies from any of Kiamat's followers that you may have slain?
I did not. Possibly Tharimal?
Not that I recall.
Anything really?
I don't
Scrap of
think you've had
Arrow.
anything from him. Did you pick up anything? I don't think. Kiamat.
Gibbon.
Is Draken's
could have
axe
solved some
actually
problems.
Kiamat?
No, Draken's axe.
Ooh.
No, Draken's axe is
Dragons.
is not. It's just a one he picked up.
Yeah.
From the glade in the glade in Daybreaker. It's Daybreaker, sorry. He got it from a glade in Cragmere.
He looks at Barty and says, "Are you thinking of performing a scarring spell?"
No, if we had an object from one of Kiamat's followers, if as long as it wasn't older than a couple of months, we could use that to hone in on his location and teleport.
Okay.
Get the scrying bit.
We were kind of busy burning the remains just in case.
Dyrelia sort of looks at you and says, and has that sort of look of, "You've been here for more than a few months, I'm afraid. Time here does not move as it does in the other realms."
God damn it! God, that fucking hell!
So how long
God.
have we been here anyway? In our time.
She looks at you and says, 6 months.
God damn it! God. Well,
It's just a
Draken's
small
body.
amount of time then.
Even a gentle repose is not gonna stop decay of that magnitude.
No, but necromancy will.
we don't know
Necromancy.
what resources his father will have applied.
Oh, he's a zombie. Stop
Oh,
kidding
really?
yourself.
Absolutely.
We will see when we get there.
The scholars are telling you what it is. He's a zombie. He's looking, and then he just laughs. I'm kidding. No, I'm not. Don't want to upset you. Just don't expect him to be as vibrant.
I simply want to make sure his remains are interred with our friends. If those remains are bones or if they're an intact corpse, either way, they need to go back and be returned to where they should be and removed from his father's foul possession.
And we will
we'll
do
that.
so.
We'll do that. Anyway, we
Brother,
just-
go read your books.
Yes, we're going.
They skip off to the library like children after candy. So who's sticking around with Dyrelia then? The rest of yous?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so Barty and Brother Gadden, you make your way to the library. It's it's a grand room with books everywhere. You've got even some that seem to sort of levitate towards you when you think about them. You have sort of it's a very it sort of reminds you of the dreams that you were in, but sort of it's sort of a reality. The there's every book that you could possibly think of or is there. So what specifically are you looking for?
He just looks at Barty and says, jokingly, I could just hopefully wish for the Book of Exalted Deeds, but that might be a bit too much in this place. So I don't know if you know what that is, but that book is. Oh. Anyways, what are we looking for? Oh, maybe later.
Okay. Maps would be good. Journals of from the elves would be just as good. But the real prize would be the sigil sequence for the Dragon Tower.
So
If that may even be possible.
So do we? I think So Gadden's gonna just will it. Like he's gonna hear those words. He's gonna hear the words that Barty says, and he's never come across this kind of library before. But he just has this weird feeling that if he just wills it, something might happen.
Okay. Roll me a. Not going to be an investigation. It's going to be.
Can I do a religion, maybe?
Yeah. Roll. Well, is it going to be religion or would it be sort of? It's not. What's it going to be? Because you're sort of using your willpower to do it. Would it be dare I say it, a wisdom?
That's flat out wisdom check.
Yeah, just give me a wisdom. Yep.
Oh, is it?
There you go.
Yeah.
You with relative ease, you use as if you sort of knew how to do it. These sort of books and sort of scrolls sort of come out of the shelves and sort of appear in front of you in a sort of in a chronological order.
Okay, brilliant. Divide and conquer.
Yes.
Okay.
I think.
I can do an assist. I can help Barty with an assisted roll.
Yep. So roll me an investigation. You can have advantage on.
Is me an investigation not that great?
Mine's not.
Come on, you're a wizard. You guys should have at least
Okay, so
a
you
plus.
got a 22.
Half time of history, religion.
Yeah. Okay. So so you're looking for what is it you're looking for specifically within information wise?
The sigil sequence for the Dragon Tower.
Okay. Yeah. So looking through, you find maps of the sort of the Dragon Tower. You find some quite intricate drawings that have come from people's dreams of the Dragon Tower itself. It's a beautiful, ornate-looking building with more you see sort of more pink blossomed thyssus trees at its base. You also find sort of the dream journal of one of the mages who used to reside in that tower, and it has the sort of sigil sequence that you're looking for that tower.
Incredible. This is our 100% chance. And Barty will take a lot of time and effort and care making sure that he copies it down perfectly. He can speak and write Elvish, so
Yep. Okay.
So that should be okay. Nice. And then if we can move his attention to the maps of the area for the actual island, and then just trying to get a good sense of the geography, the topography, where
so
where the big death crater is that he wants to avoid.
well, there isn't any. What you see, and I'm not sure if you can sort of, if you actually I haven't got move you across to. It's a high-res picture of it, so you zoom in greatly on it. But you. So you've got a what you have is some maps of the island itself. The sort of the mountain of Ifthrasta is depicted on it, and you see a lot of forested areas surrounding the base of the mountain itself. But it's not as, it doesn't seem as large as it seems to be now from the sort of more recent sort of maps you've got of it. The island as well seems to be a lot smaller than it currently is at this moment in time. Again, you'd only make the assumptions that the more land is being created as the mountain sort of erupts and the lava creates more. I'm saying magma's underneath, lava's when it's outside, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure. So yeah, as it's creating more land, you see sort of at the base of the mountain, there is sort of an entrance to what was formerly a sort of stronghold for Elathilian prince. There is sort of drawings of the inners of that sort of stronghold itself, but again, they're from a long time ago, so you couldn't be 100% sure what is there and what isn't there.
Oh, that's amazing. And again, he'll sort of like start copying out any maps, like making like little hatching drawings and stuff. He's just trying to commit as much detail to memory as he can to create as full a picture.
Okay.
Of this area. Perfect.
Okay. Anything else?
I think Bart is good with that. Is there anything?
No. I think he whilst he's watching it, he's gonna look at some of the scrolls that pertain to any of the previous surrounding. Well, like if there's what was the surrounding before Jorasrasta became a what it is now. So that way, if there's any significant landmarks on the actual island, then he'll know it.
Yeah, so the main landmarks are literally the mountain itself, and the citadel at the foot of the mountain.
Okay. And then is there any descriptions of what the citadel looked like then?
Yeah, so you've got sort of you've got drawings, and you've got some sort of pictures of rooms within the city itself. Again, these are all sort of come from like effectively dream diaries from the elves who sort of used to be there. So you have stylistic drawings and maps of the area.
Okay, so in that case, once he's absorbed as much of the drawings as he can. I don't think he can take these pieces of work. Can he?
No. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that case, he's just going to commit them to memory. Looks at Barty and says, "I think this will be enough. Dragon Tower gets as close as we can get without putting ourselves all in harm." So
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's our best bet. Yeah, I do wonder the veracity of these sources, being dream journals, but that's a risk we might have to take.
Bertha, 1 minute. Misa's starting to cry, so you guys carry on talking to her on that.
I'm gonna take a pee break while that's going on.
That's why you need a big cup, Michael. You just,
Right. You know,
I think the problem is he had a big cup, and now he needs to go for a pee break.
as long as the cup is empty, he's good to go.
What's that?
It's the in-between time. If it's a big cup, you have to worry about hitting the bad point halfway down.
bedpan.
Oh yeah. When
Well,
gravity
just get a bedpan. It's all good, right?
Oh God.
It's the grosser version of the argument that Vic will remember for artists of, did you pick up and drink from the wrong cup when you're painting?
Ah,
Oh.
hate water. Eee.
Paint water, not paint water.
So many times I've been that close to that happening.
Oh, dear. I had to laugh just now. I heard laughter from one side past my earphones, turned around, and Sarah's hanging around the door, laughing at all the faces I was pulling while we were arguing and stuff.
Oh my god. He's just like, oh.
Well, I think that she possibly came about the time I was.
Yeah, just like. I've just had somebody try to hack into my LinkedIn account from Russia,
Ooh,
Fun.
fun.
so I've just I've purged it all.
Have you
Welcome
been
back.
calling- Have you
What?
been calling Q2 and nonce again?
LinkedIn? Yeah, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I have no idea. What
Nah.
What is this LinkedIn you talk of?
Nah, somebody tried to hack my account.
What is this thing you speak of?
Okay,
It's a
so
blogging channel.
where did we get to before I left?
Caravel's gone to pee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes, we got maps, we got
Yep.
details, journals, and sigils,
Yep, we're good to go.
and then
Elf can't
Brother
hold his tea.
Oh,
Brother Gavin,
actually,
can you scry? Do you have the ability to?
of course I do. You know,
Okay.
Divine Bahamut just says, "Okay, cool. You know, have some scrying ability. I can." Why?
Interesting.
Okay.
Just
I
need
mean,
to know if we might need a scroll, but it sounds like you've got it under control.
before he says anything, what's the ruling on like high level spells? I imagine we have to have all the materials for it, right?
Yes. I'm not going to make it super easy for you just to cast.
No, I was about to say, yeah. So he just looks and he says,
Scrying.
Yeah.
So
I don't make destroy. Yeah.
I need to point out though that scrying is a very do you know much about the spell? Because
Not a great deal.
you just need to be a very spenny individual, at least 1,000 gold, or an item or something that's worth 1,000 gold. And at the moment, my mace is probably worth nothing. So, but if you have a crystal ball or a silver mirror or just something filled with something
Money wise,
holy.
I think you're still. I think you're pretty flush still, or have you spent a lot of it on things? I'm not sure what.
We haven't spelled anything.
I could probably find a patron that could help us. And then
No,
he just starts feeling around in his gold purse. He's like, yeah.
He's
I think
just
we
like-
may.
I was about to say, and he just looks at him and says, "The last time somebody said they could find the patron, they became a warlock, and then we were followed around by this maniacal djinn. So, I don't know if you happen to go down that direction. One, please let me know. Two, don't do it. It's not worth it. Anyways, so before I go, actually, I wonder." And he thinks. He kind of just it's an inward wish, but he kind of just says, "Is there such thing as this as a book that can help fight corruption, like a book of exalted deeds, or a book of good deeds that help cancel out corruption?"
I'm gonna have to look about this book of. Is this a thing, by the way?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's an artifact. It's
Let me just have a look because it's not one I'm aware of.
I hope you
Like
don't mind
rares
me
to the
doing
rares?
it, but I imagine this would be something that the Legion of Undying, would put in some sort of lore to say that this is a thing that would help a fight. If it's not, then that's fine. But and it's a bit of
Okay, so
messaging.
let's see what it does. Definitive treatise on all that is good in the multiverse. The fabled Book of Exalted Deed figures prominently in many religions. Rather than being scripture devoted to particular faith, the book various authors filled the pages with their own vision of the true virtue, providing guidance for defeating evil. Rarely lingers in one place. As soon as the book is read, it vanishes into another corner of the multiverse for more guidance. Blah, 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 blah. Right. Benefits for granted by the Book of Exalted Deeds last only as long as you strive to do good. If you fail to perform at least one act of kindness or generosity within the span of 10 days, or you willingly perform an evil act, you will lose all benefits granted by the book. The Book of Exalted Deeds has following random properties: 2 minor beneficial properties, 2 major beneficial properties. Increased wisdom after you spend the amount of your wisdom score increased by 2. Enlightened magic: once you've read and studied the book, any spell slot you spend to cast a cleric or paladin spell counts as a spell slot for 1 level higher. Halo: once you have read and studied the book, you gain a protective halo. This halo sheds bright light in a 10-foot radius and dim light for an additional 10 feet. Destroying the book.
It's pretty broken.
If this rumor, I guess we could maybe sort of what's the word?
I think that's an end game thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, we don't want to. You're only level. Well, I say only level 14 at the minute, but sort of maybe something towards the end we can sort of give it to you. We could maybe sort of.
Oh, he's going to chase for it. It is the ultimate source of.
Yeah, I think you probably try. I think you probably chance your arm, and you start thinking about it. And books sort of kind of fly out towards you, but they're not exactly what you're looking for. They're sort of similar-ish sort of tomes, but they are they're not that book. They're not what you're looking for.
And it doesn't tell me where it might be either. There's no books to say. Or does it say there's references of whether it's ever appeared?
Yeah, okay, all right, yeah. So it's quite a high-level book. So we'll say that it potentially resides. Where's going to be a hard place for you to get it?
So right in the the source of all hope is in the root of all evil.
Yeah. Yes, that sounds great to me. Yeah, it is currently residing in the main fortress on the sort of central island of the corruption in one of the catacombs. We'll say it used to reside. I'd say it used to reside in the Grand Library of the Southern Island, sort of the main island.
Okay, and so having read that sort of part, he just looks at Barton and he says, "Oh, that's hard. I basically found the book that just does pure good to defeat evil. And remember, it's somewhere, it's a legend. But we're not gonna get it. It's just gonna be hard. So
don't worry, we'll teleport there after Rasta.
Good luck with it. If it's so good. Let's go back. But you would have liked that book. It's so good." And so he just walks along with Barty to head back with the rest of the party. Hey, it rhymes.
Love it.
Okay, so you make your way back to the rest of the party who are sort of either sitting by the tree, conversing with Dyrelia, or sort of no doubt emo brooding as Arno probably is. And yeah, so what's happening?
Cool. Good news, everybody. We have certainly a strong chance of getting to the Dragon Tower, which gets us much closer to our goal.
Definitely a
Although
good
it does
start.
require a short swim.
Or in my case, a brief stroll.
By the way, that brief stroll is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 miles to 25 miles. So the Dragon Tower and the island, there's about a 25-mile stretch of water to go past to get to.
I might have been being sarcastic.
So, to be fair, if you weren't
to be honest, from the top of the Dragon Tower, we'd be able to see Durafrasta.
Yeah, you would. Yeah.
Well, There we go.
Spyglass with us, yeah.
That increases our chances dramatically.
Okay. So might I suggest that we look at making our way to Corelia so that we can start to line up some resources?
Of course.
I mean,
Our chances.
we're in Kyrelia, right? And we want to go to
No.
Alamo.
You are in.
We're,
You're in. Well, you're in the enclave now, but you as soon as you set foot off the bridge, you'll be on. You'll be.
Capital of Corelia.
You'll be at Kyrelia.
Oh, I thought we were just off.
So Kyrelia. So region wise, let me.
I say this is a huge territory, and the Enclave was in there.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
We're an oldie, aren't we?
Yeah. So you're on that little floating island thing there, and then
Yes.
Kyrelia's sort of after you get off the bridge, you'll be in Kyrelia.
International waters.
We're Switzerland. Yeah.
So if we think about them proceeding back to the capital where Barty's originally from, that gives us access to other resources and time to repair, and hopefully Brotherhood can contact his comrades and see if they can offer any assistance.
Well, I mean, I hope. Otherwise, Valashul, the greedy little bastard, has taken pretty much the whole force.
But they may be able to offer artifacts, advice, supplies, or simply, I don't know. But
yeah, we'll see. With
Assistance from even one is assistance.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we don't ask, we don't get.
That is very true. Very true, lads. Okay.
Any other comments or views or whatever? Arno's been very quiet.
Which worries me a little bit.
He's clearly okay. So the others will be. Arno keeps sort of drifting. He's clearly thinking about something that's not this.
Can I roll? Does it perception or insight to see if he's in his own little world?
Insight, I would say.
Insight.
Yeah.
Boy. Oh no. Oh no, you're in trouble. I'm crap.
What do you mean to try and figure out if he was in his own little world?
Yeah.
I think you can clearly see that he's, he's
distracted.
Either daydream. Yeah, he's distracted by some other thoughts.
Just
That's
moves
like
next to
saying
him.
he's got his head up his ass, I suppose.
Yeah, in the ring, right? He kind of edges quietly as they all walk out. I take it we're all going out of the enclave now that we've managed to, or we're about to.
Yeah, we're gonna have to if we want to teleport.
Yeah. Okay. So I imagine before that, then we'll want to say goodbye to Dyrelia and say thank you to her. Yada yada yada.
But to be fair, I'm sitting like about 200 yards from there, so you're coming my direction.
Oh, okay. So in that case, well, he's gonna and Arno is sitting with you lot. So I guess whilst we're coming up from the library, we do see that, and I will probably notice Arno seemingly in his own world, and whilst Barty's going to the rest of the party, Gadden kind of just sort of surreptitiously heads down and takes a seat next to Arno, and he just says, "Silence is very loud here."
No? Oh, sorry. Didn't see you there.
It's okay.
What was that?
I said you're thinking very loud. What's wrong?
Nothing is wrong. This place, I feel like something has made me stronger. Not in the way that I usually feel. Enhancement granted to me by Kivi, but something else, that experience we had. Do you feel the same?
You come through a point in your life where you are galvanized by a strength of realization. Now, I'm gonna quote scripture here. Bahamut
Arno rolls
teaches,
his eyes.
but here we go. Bahamut teaches that the strength of an individual lies in their own power, and light shines through it. But the deeper meaning behind that is that once you know yourself and all the shit that you're actually capable of doing, both bad and good, to your own self, you realize that you can handle some things in a way you didn't quite realize you could do it. So, candidly speaking, what I saw in your little dreamscape, um, you came to blows with a part of yourself that you did not think was possible, and you've come out of it unscathed despite all the doom that you kind of put on yourself. Really, that's one way of looking at it. The other side of it is that you've come to a point where you've just, when you get you get a stick and you just try to gently snap it before it snaps. You've snapped, and this is your way of saying, okay, I've accepted something. And that's a powerful thing.
I suppose you're right, but this is different still.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like something happened to me in there, almost like some of their powers have transferred to me. The Dreamwalkers.
Mm-hmm.
I feel connected to them somehow.
Aurelia sort of walks over to you and nods her head and sort of puts her hand on your shoulder, and says, "You came through so much that this place has bound itself to you in a deep way. All of you will have extra power that maybe is not of this world and is connected to my own."
In my land,
Thank you.
we say don't look of gift
No,
horse
and
in
she
the mouth.
says, "No, thank you. You have done
Oh.
more for this place than anybody could have. If only we could provide you with more."
Tell me the experience of navigating dreams. Can you lose yourself?
She says,
In the music, the moment.
"Unfortunately, yes. The weak will, as you've experienced yourselves in your own dreams, the pull to stay where one is happiest or to escape from one's darkest recesses and live in your past or a reality that just does not exist is very strong. A dreamwalker is tested by this, and many feel are, and she sort of kind of does this with her hand, and the sort of pool surrounding you, sort of what is water that seemed slightly opaque, not opaque, slightly sort of shrouded, becomes a lot more opaque, and you see people sleeping in its waters, and these are those who have not escaped their dreams.
Arno takes a deep breath and cricks his neck. I will remember. And he nods and bows and walks away.
And he leans over to Diary and says, if not, I'll still pull him out of the water.
she laughs and says, "I have no idea. I have no doubt you will, Brother Gadden." And she sort of puts her hand on your cheek, sort of, and not in that sort of a sort of caresses your cheek,
Affectionate.
affectionate, and sort of smiles and takes it away.
Actually, before you say anything, before you leave, there's a portal that takes you up here, but there's also a way. This place transcends the different planes, right?
Yes.
Or just the bridge even. One day, when this is all over, I don't want to actually go home by the gates of Aberrath. I'd actually like to go home through here.
She says, I will give you that as a token of my thanks, as a token of our thanks. I will give you that that boon.
When the time comes, of course. My work isn't done here.
She sort of nods her head and says, "Of course."
Thank you. So he also gets up and just like, then he's like, where the fuck do I go? And he just kind of looks around to the main party and aimlessly sort of wanders there.
Okay. Anybody else? What's going on?
I'm just kind of off in my own world, like being back in here and kind of thinking about the experience that I had and kind of keeping to myself about it.
Dyrelia sort of looks at you all and says, "You need to go. This place has much power, and for those of you, despite what you have been through, it's very enticing. And as much as I would love more company, your place is not here. The place is out there, helping bring down the corruption. All this place is going to give you is a reality that will soon never exist if you do not prevent what is happening in the rest of the rest of Freya. You must let go of your dreams and enter the reality that is the nightmare and cleanse it like you did in this area."
My friends, let's go. We're being told to get out. It's like goes to Saren first and just kind of like gently nudges, just like ushering out.
I'm going, get off.
I know, but you must. So he like kind of leads with Saren kind of gently.
Okay.
As so I walk past him and go over and I kneel before the lady and simply say thank you before I leave.
She what does she do? She puts her hand on your chest, and the sort of the wood under your sort of kind of ceramic sort of armor starts to sprout sort of a pattern of a floral pattern on there. It's not a massive one, it's just a very small one, but just sort of a gift. And she just sort of kind of
I nod in thanks and stand and turn to walk away.
Okay. Are we leaving now? Are we leaving the enclave?
Yes, going.
No
The
one ever
choice
leaves.
Gadden is
We will
pushing me.
never leave the
It's
enclave.
the opposite of Hotel California.
Yeah, it's all gonna be this is all gonna be a dream. You're all gonna wake up at the end of this, I was thinking about this. I'm gonna do a dynasty, and you're all gonna wake up, and you're just gonna come out. You're all gonna come out of the pool after level 20, and it's just gonna be. It was all a dream.
A dream.
We know what's happening in the event of TPK.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was all.
It's
a dream.
your own fault for keeping us here for 6 months.
It was a red pill. It was a red pill.
Okay. Right. So you leave. And Dyrelia sort of looks at Arno and says, "Is there still? Actually, no. What's she gonna say? You will. She'll say, you will find your brother. I have no doubt about this. Use the information you gain from your dream to find him and bring some happiness to your life once more."
Arno half smiles and bows again.
And she said, she sort of kind of hands you a drinking goblet, and she says, "And when you find him, you can drink. You can both have a drink from this."
He looks at it and says, "Thank you. I will save it for such an occasion."
Okay. Right. So you exit the enclave once more. You don't get any sort of farewell salutes from the sentinels again. You just sort of walk off the bridge, and where is it you're making your way? What direction are you going? What's the score?
Done.
He looks at Tharavel like, "You want us to travel by the Underdark."
So you've got sort of options. You can make your way to back to Garley Hole. There's like roadwise, unfortunately the map I've got on Roll20. I'm using the map on World Anvil for people at home, but there is this.
The quicker way is probably just cutting across the countryside,
Or teleporting.
or
Yeah.
teleporting. Yeah.
But
Well, we
Barty's
can-
just going to ask Lance where exactly we want to go. Like, I know the city, but let's narrow it down a little bit.
Ideally, somewhere that is close enough to the centre, and that we will not have to get lost, but somewhere quiet enough that we don't have to worry about us appearing and having people cause problems. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Barty, how about the tavern? Did you
Land us
ever...
on anybody's head.
No, we just appeared somewhere in like a closet or something like that, or in an alleyway near a tavern. That might be good enough.
In a closet? We're not all going to fit in a closet.
You'll be surprised how big closets are inside a tavern. Depends on which closet, of course, but you know.
I gesture
Okay.
at you and go, have you seen the size of you?
Possibly a stable yard or something similar.
Actually, that's... Although, I don't know if you want to spook horses. I don't like spooking horses. Horses are nice.
It's fine if they're tied up.
And they generally are in a stable. I think we'll be fine.
Okay, fine. Do you know of one then, Barty?
I think I do. A coaching inn, not far from the centre.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
See?
Sounds good.
Come close.
So
Not too close.
Sweet.
everybody's making. By the way, this is it just a spell, or do you need materials and stuff for this teleportation?
No, well, it's quite an expensive spell. It requires a verbal component and nothing else, so we're good to go.
Oh, sorry, I shouldn't be this kind of
So yeah, everyone sort of like gets within like a 10-foot cube. Barty starts just like whispering. Sounds like gibberish, but it's mainly like coordinates. But he's closed his eyes and he's thinking about being a boy and traveling around the city and quite a famous coaching inn that's not too far from the library, not too far from the centre. It's got a nice like roomy stables, and he's thinking about the time that he was allowed after he'd finished his meal to go around to the stables and pet the horses. And his memories are really vivid, so he's thinking about it. He's closed his eyes, and when he opens them, hopefully he'll be there with everybody.
Okay.
Needed.
So
Yeah,
you're
go on.
so you're aiming for the stables, not the tavern itself, then.
Yeah, for like sort of like the quiet area around the back. And then I roll a d100, and if it's cool with you, I'm going to say I'm very familiar with the area. So as long as it's not below 25.
Okay.
Nah.
Dun, 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 dun.
And is
Dun,
sitting with
dun.
her eyes closed, going, "Please, please, please, don't be actually like anywhere else, please."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you I'll get back to the more dish. Okay, so you you do your spell, and as you open them up, you appear sort of in the middle of this quite grand looking stable. A few of your comrades have sort of being teleported into piles of hay. One of you is sort of in a stall with one of the horses and stuff, but you're there. You're in the stable. As predicted.
Horse is looking at me funny.
Get it for me. He just says that he's like trying to pull out hay from various different parts of his fur, mostly his mouth as well.
I step
you
out
will
of
want
the water
his
trough
dinner.
and shake my feet to get the water and say, "At least my feet are clean."
And then he's just like, I don't know. And just starts plucking the hay just to see where he is. Oh god, this halfling is missing. I don't know. Say something. Open your mouth. Squeal. Anything. And then he looks at the Tharaval. He's the sneaky one. Where is he? Tharaval. Sir?
Tharaval all of a sudden
be
just
atop a horse.
Tharaval all of a sudden just pops up from a deep pile of hay and like
Okay, well.
Can somebody move the horse, please? It won't let me out.
Just
I
say
walk
please
over-
and you'll be fine, you know.
I
Just
walk
please move
over
on.
to the I walk over to the stable and gently grip the horse.
How
with my hand
terrifying for the
inside
horse!
his head
Oh my god.
And just urge it to one side.
I get out of there as fast as I can. I do not get on with the horses. They look at me funny, and I don't like it.
Oh, I thought I had a
Neither does
stable map somewhere, but apparently I don't. Okay, so you are in Alamore now.
Yeah.
You, I guess we've got you know, it's not as grand as it's a lot bigger in the thing, but you know, you get the idea. It's a very grand looking city with many walls and towers and stuff. We'll just say this is the inner ward of the city and stuff. But yeah, you've got this large city. Barty, you get this sort of kind of sense, this sort of the smells and the sounds and the stuff, and it, you know, makes you feel sort of quite sort of you know, like you're home. You know, you've not been back for a while, and this is home.
How long do you think you'll need, Lance?
Well, it's not
To
just
conclude your business.
it's not just me. Obviously, Brother Gadden can try to find a chance to connect up with his colleagues,
Legion. Yeah.
and this gives us all an opportunity if we think we need to access spell components or things like or other resources to gather some stuff up. This is a large enough city that it should have access to a number of resources.
What I was going to say is, do you want to do this part in downtime, or is this something you want the RP?
Yeah.
Oh no, we can do
I
this.
think-
Downtime. I'm going downtime.
Oh, okay. I'd be up for downtime.
Yeah,
Yep,
we do
same.
it in downtime, and then we can move on to. Then, if we need to, we can include at the start of next session.
Yeah, so basically, ideally, because I foresee that there could be a lot of sort of toing and froing and doing things within the city, and we're not going to get to where we need to go to for a while. And, it'll be 2 or 3 sessions because there'll be other things. So if we get a lot of it out of the way in the in the Discord, again, if you're watching, you join the Discord and you can check out what they're saying. So. That would be so basically finding what you need to do, then I can interact with you over the week, next week, sort of what you're doing, so we can get that out of the way, where you need to go, what you want to do, what you need, and then we'll have something a bit more solid for, I guess it'll end with, teleport, if that's what you want to do, teleporting to... What was the plan? So, again, you can decide on what the actual plan is. If you're going to teleport to the Dragon Tower, if you're going to make your way to Belmore, if you're going to use the Underdark, you can make those decisions, and we can basically start off. I'll obviously need those decisions prior to Thursday of next week, but sort of an idea of what we're doing. If needs be, we can finish it off on Thursday and sort of work from there. But get as much as we can out of the way in downtime.
Yeah, maybe do a bunch in downtime and then have the first sort of longer than
I think
first hour of the session to close off the city, maybe.
Yeah, what you probably will get in certain is whether we make a decision on teleporting to the Dragon Tower or whether we go through the Underdark and reach the Jorathraster through there. That's what you'll probably get by the end of the next session. As to what happens in between is going to be how we do it. So the downtime is going to probably fill up most of that, and I expect like a portion of the session on Thursday to do that.
Yep. Okay, that's fine. Well, again, I'll not. Because I don't know 100% what you want to do. So I've got maps and stuff, but I've not filled anything up because I don't know where you want to do and stuff. So I'll not make any big decisions until you've all sort of decided what you're doing.
Where on the map are we now?
You are
Alamore.
We're at the
big city, the big main city, with the sort of on the outcrop.
Okay, in there, gotcha. Okay,
yeah,
I understand. Thanks.
And as far as next to it as well. Right, so I just realised, Belmore and Asfara.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's like we can do stuff, rest and teleport, and just keep cycling through that as long as we need to.
Yeah.
I should point out though, you may have to at Matt if you put stuff in there and he hasn't responded in a bit because he doesn't always remember to look.
So just if you've said stuff like, and I'm happy to sort of go through quite at length bits and pieces with you, but make sure you at me so I can sort of, and then I'll do the same so you know which bits. But so the thing is, if you do it, you're brilliant. If you don't, then it's going to have to be done on stream, which is going to prolong things. So it's up to yourselves.
I think, and just so I'm clear, so for Brother Gadden, his primary objective is getting help from the Legion of the Undying Light. And
so basically, you can each tell me what you're going to be in the big city, and then you can basically tell me what you want to do. Each of you is going to do, and then we can go through that. So obviously, you can sort of have any interactions with the Legion if you can get access to them. Barty can do what he needs to do. Everybody can do their little bits and pieces, do any shopping, do any sort of bits and pieces that you need to do, and then we can sort of carry on from there.
Okay, cool. And just remind me, I think I didn't see the loot, but I take it there's loot there and it's been divvied out.
You're.
We
It's
need to. We can
There's a
talk about
cloak of
that in
elven
downtime as well.
Yeah, so your
Yeah.
TS at Loot RP is where that is. There is like the party as a whole is pretty flush. I think at the minute. I don't think you've spent all of it. You've got a fair bit.
Jeez, I forgot about
Party's
that.
got most of it.
Yeah. So you're pretty flush. So you've got money to spend in the city if you need to and stuff. There is like a party bank, I think, sort of.
Yeah, I just see the last one is like 20. Is it 210,000 or 21,000 gold?
I think there is money was spent on things and stuff. But between them, they've got it's all been divvied out. So if you need money, obviously, as a party, it's the greater good. So if you need something, then I'm sure the party can then sort that out for you.
We'll figure something out.
Yep. Okay, we'll figure out in chat then.
Yep,
Okay.
cool. Right, so
Lovely.
we'll leave it there then. Very good, chaps. Enjoyable. Another lot of people watching today, which is great. We like people watching. So as I said before, if you haven't joined the Discord, which I don't seem to have a link for the Discord on here, but
Post in the comments.
I will put a link in. Let's do where's the. I will do a link in the comments for people to invite people. There we go. I will copy the link and let you all in if you need to. It's called Geek Pride. Is the channel if you're just looking. But all the RP chat will be there. So if they're back and forth, you can check out what's going on, what they're doing over the next week, ready for Thursday. But anyway, for me, I've been Matt Gary. With me has been Conrad as Arnold Jerkel,
Bye bye.
Michael Starval Eldon,
For democracy!
Jace as Brother Gadden,
You have done your duty, citizen.
Lecky as Bartholomew Pringle,
Spreading managed democracy throughout the galaxy.
Marcus Lance.
That word, I do not think it means what you think it does.
Princess Bride reference. I love it. Okay. And Vic as Saren Sanguine.
Inconceivable.
Inconceivable. Night, everybody. Bye.
Hello.